as funny as they were in film, they were 100 times, 1,000 times funnier on stage. And they were unpredictable. I mean, things would happen on stage that was so wonderful.
And I used to watch them wallpaper Margaret Dumont into the wall, 4 or 5 shows a day, this poor woman who looked like my mother.
Durante la gira casi se suprime la famosa escena del camarote porque no provocaba ninguna risa. Entonces, una noche se olvidaron del guión y la anarquía marxista imperó en el escenario una vez más. Los resultados transformaron una escena floja en una clásica del cine.
On the second or third day, I thought to myself, gee, the second show, there's nobody in the audience except a few drunks, guys in overcoats, and a few ladies of the evening. I'll go and get my hair done. So I went out and came back and went backstage, and Daddy and Harper were waiting for me. And I said, hi. And they said, well? And I said, well? And they said, well? And I really didn't know what the hell they were talking about. I looked at Daddy and looked at Harpo, and Harpo said, I told you she wouldn't know. Chico said, I was sure you'd guess. I said, no, what? Guess what? And it turned out they had changed parts. Daddy had played Harpo, and Harpo had played Daddy. And they did it for me, and I wasn't there. That's one of the biggest disappointments I've ever had in show business. It was a heartbreak, because they never would do it again.
La gira fue todo un éxito, y la fe de Thalberg en los hermanos Marx se vio ratificada. Una noche en la ópera fue un éxito de taquilla, y volvió a convertirlos en grandes estrellas una vez más. Intentando repetir la fórmula que tan buen resultado les había dado con Una noche en la ópera, los hermanos Marx volvieron a coger la carretera para probar un nuevo guión, pero 2 semanas después de que comenzara el rodaje, Thalberg, de 37 años, moría de una neumonía. Sin su consejo durante el rodaje y la edición, los hermanos no tenían una visión creativa fuerte. Aún así, Thalberg había iniciado el camino, y un día en las carreras resultó ser la última gran película de los hermanos Marx.
Either he's dead or my watch has stopped. I'll be in back of it. I got a message from the man on the moon for you. Got you. On a roof and leaf in the water together. Heidi, Heidi, Heidi.
Un día en las carreras aumentó la fama de los hermanos Marx, y como muchas otras estrellas del cine de los años 30, empezaron a aparecer en los lugares más sorprendentes.
Now listen, babe. How about a few words, see? I've been chasing you all night. Now, how about a little kiss, baby? Well, fancy meeting you here.
Roses are red. Violets are blue. He'll have the sin and nuts to you.
No!
Objection overruled. You are guilty. Give him a fair trial, and then we'll shoot him.
Los hermanos Marx eran queridos en todas partes menos en la Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, donde sin Thalberg su carrera se estancó. Así que recurrieron a la RKO para hacer su siguiente película, la única que no había sido escrita especialmente para ellos. Fue un producto torpe.
In the lobby, they've been locked out of their rooms.
You can't do this to me. If I lose my cash, I'll sue him. If I lose my backer, I'll kill him.
Después del estrepitoso fracaso de El Hotel de los Líos, los hermanos Marx regresaron a la Metro, que en 1931 había estrenado películas ganadoras de Oscar como Lo que el viento se llevó y El mago de Oz. Pero a Louis B. Mayer no le gustaban los hermanos Marx, y sin un ejecutivo de apoyo que supervisara su trabajo, el interés de los Marx por hacer cine disminuyó y se volvieron rebeldes en el plató.
The writers who worked on Marx Brothers films all had one thing in common: exhaustion. They were not the easiest people for a director to contain.
Of course, Groucho, as he said to me, you know, while my brothers were out chasing girls during the making of these movies, I'm in my dressing room memorizing the lines.
Groucho would go in his dressing room, smoke a cigar, study the script, and be there, ready to go to work, and grump a lot. Harpo would be horsing around a little bit, but Chico would be off someplace. He might even be off the stage or in a phone booth someplace, phoning in some bets.
They had a bet that whoever was late was fined. And even Harpo was late once in a great while. And so Harpo and Daddy looked at each other and they said, Groucho is never late. So they went, when he was home, they went to his garage and they fixed it so he couldn't get his car out in the morning. He had to take a cab to the studio. And he came there, he was boiling mad.
Nobody can outshoot two-gun quail. Boys, sweep him out of the gunner. It's just like a movie.
Yes. Just a moment. I have a most important announcement to make. Most important. The Marx Brothers are retiring from the silver screen.
We didn't know you cared. But since you do, we'll present to you songs and scenes from our first farewell picture, The Big Song, where everything's a goodbye. Goodbye.
Groucho, Chico y Harpo estaban ahora en los 50. Sus tres últimas películas fueron mediocres y la Metro ya no los quería. En realidad tampoco los quería ningún otro estudio de la ciudad. Los hermanos, aparte de Chico, no tenían necesidad económica de trabajar, así que decidieron retirarse. La función había terminado. Nada volvería a ser lo mismo ni para los hermanos Marx ni para los Estados Unidos.
Pearl Harbor. The brunt of the cowardly blow struck at Pearl Harbor was borne by the Army and Navy.
Harpo contribuyó al esfuerzo bélico recorriendo el país vendiendo bonos de guerra con estrellas como Lucille Ball y Fred Astaire. Chico formó una orquesta e hizo una gira nacional.
Chico Marx, his piano and his orchestra. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are backstage at the Stanley again, and this is yours truly, Ray Spencer, bringing to you for the first time on the air the music of Chico Marx and his new outstanding orchestra.
He would be leading the band, And then he would get tired, and his hand sort of would droop, and he would turn his back on the band and sit down and take out a banana and peel it and start to eat the banana. And every so often he would, over his back, he would give a beat to the band. Probably didn't do anything to the musicians, but it was very charming.
Groucho había cimentado su carrera sobre el amor al lenguaje. ¿Dónde más podía encontrar la salvación sino volviendo a la radio?
Come on down to Blue Ribbon Town, where you'll down your daily fare.
The leading citizen of Blue Ribbon Town, our happy host of hilarious hijinks, Groucho Marx.
Oh, boy, what a turnout. Isn't this wonderful, Groucho?
Wonderful. What's wonderful about it? Where are all the girls?
Girls? Did you expect to see girls at a Marine camp?
Of course. Where's Maureen O'Sullivan and Maureen O'Hara and Maureen Dietrich?
So we're walking down, and on the 11th floor, there was a sign on a door that said, Hamburger and Hamburger Attorneys at Law. Now, this was too good for Groucho to pass up. So he walks in, I followed him in, and he says, I want to say a hamburger. And he always finds the perfect foil seated behind a desk. The lady said, which hamburger did you want to see? And Groucho says, I've always found that one hamburger is pretty much like another hamburger. And she says, well, I really must know which one. He says, the eldest hamburger. She says, oh, Hamburger Sr. died last week. And he says, really? Well, I'm Groucho Marx. Dig him up.
Como maestro de ceremonias tradicional, Groucho sonaba acartonado e incómodo y la audiencia disminuyó. El programa fue suspendido y los productores radiofónicos decidieron que Groucho no volviera a tener un programa permanente en antena. Con su carrera congelada, Groucho, como Harpo, volvió su atención hacia tareas más patrióticas.
I think I enjoyed Groucho the most when we did the Victory Caravan back in 1942 when we were selling bonds across the country in about 25, 26 cities. And it was amazing. The train stopped in Washington, which was our first stop, and they had a tremendous crowd cheering everybody that got off the train. And when Groucho got off, nobody recognized him because he didn't have his mustache or cigar. So he just climbed down the other end of the car, put on his mustache, put the cigar in his mouth, got down in the crowd, got off, and got a tremendous hand.
And it turned out that in these 30 days of the tour, they sold more war bonds than any other single event ever put on by anybody.
La bomba atómica finalizó la guerra e hizo que las tropas regresaran a casa. El otoño de 1945 era el momento de que todos los estadounidenses volvieran a la vida normal. Había familias que reunir, vidas que reconstruir, pero ¿podrían los hermanos Marx encontrar un lugar en este mundo feliz?
You bet your life.
Oh, where have you been? I just announced you've been backstage. Backstage. Nice. Can you give me one, too?
And we've got an added starter, Chico Marx. Hey, let an athlete in.
You manipulate the uncle, and I'll distract the girl. Tell him Groucho sent you.